to be a better wrestler if I'm green.
Let's do this before I fall
Yes,
asleep.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Hi guys, so WrestleMania week is in full swing, and this is just our little, I don't even know what it's called, but it's just us telling you our favorite parts of our favorite WrestleManias that we've been to.
Really, it's not our favorites. It's just story. We're just telling stories that we
The most
did.
memorable ones,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
I
our
mean, we're not
Richie's been
talking.
to 12 of them. I've been to 3 of them. What were you going to say?
I mean, we haven't talking about. We haven't talked about matches. It's just like
Yeah, I mean, it's just
yes,
our experience,
yes.
not technically the matches.
Yeah.
Um, so again, Richie's been to 12 of them. I've been to 3 of them, so he's got a bunch more on me. um,
But I'm talking about the ones that I have stories, remember stories about.
right. So I think the next at bat, we're actually going to mix 2 into 1 because they were both in New York, New Jersey, and that would be 29 and 35,
Yes,
right? So we did go to both of them
yes.
and had different experiences.
Oh yes.
So 29,
We went to Access first on the Thursday night.
and that was in the Izod
So,
Center. And for
yes.
those that don't know what Izod is, it is not a convention center, it is an arena. So what they did is they had a whole bunch of stuff on the outside, like the walkway, like where you go to try to find your seats. And then literally in the seats, they had more autographs. They made like stages.
Yes.
So if you were waiting for an autograph, you were sitting, which I didn't quite mind too much, but it was very claustrophobic because everybody's on top of each other.
Yeah, and then they had stuff on the arena floor also.
They did, yes.
They had a ring for NXT. They had the stage.
I feel like they had some kids stuff down there too.
No, they had a ball, a foam pit. Um, Fruity Pebbles was there doing something.
That was all right. Like, I don't like Fruity Pebbles.
They're doing. I don't remember what they were doing, but they had this stage set up because Raw was going to be there after WrestleMania, and so like you could go into the backstage area, look at the locker rooms. We didn't do that.
I mean, it was fun.
It was
It was just
it was okay.
crowded.
It was okay. Like my thing is, I love looking at the old championship belts, and no, they did, and it was in the hallway where you couldn't like.
It was like you were elbowing people just to get through.
Yeah, it was like
I lost him like 5 times.
I'm a Net fan, and my dad had season tickets for the Nets when they were in the Meadowlands. I felt like I was at a Net Chicago Bull game because Chicago Bull fans were there. And then this is when Michael Jordan was playing.
Well, I mean, one good thing came out of it. We apparently got engaged that night.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
So that story. So we were staying overnight, right?
Not that night.
Not in 29.
No, we
went home.
We stayed 29.
Not that night, but that weekend we were staying for WrestleMania and everything. So my now mother-in-law and father-in-law
came with us.
So the 4 of us went to the Access, which is I think the only time I've ever seen your mom go to anything wrestling that I've seen.
Yes.
So it was nice. It was like a little nice night out for the 4 of us.
We went to dinner before. At Houlihan's down in Secaucus. Went to the Superstore beforehand. Then we went to Access.
And we were somewhere else. I feel like we were by the Andre the Giant statue or something, and then we went over to go see them.
I think we're getting Mark Henry's autograph.
Was that what we were doing?
Oh no, that was when we were talking to DDP.
Okay.
Yes.
So we were going to head back to them, and we noticed that Dad was talking to a lady, and it wasn't Mom.
Mom was there.
She was there, but they weren't talking to each other, so we didn't know who it was. And then I think as it progressed, we figured it out. It was...
Well, no, my dad goes, "Oh, here comes my son," and see it,
and his fiance.
He introduced this is my son Richie and his fiance Lindsay,
Yeah. I didn't have a ring on the finger yet.
and so lo and behold, it was Cody Rhodes' mother
Right. And then Dusty was on the stage
signing autographs.
signing autographs and giving like the side eye over in Dead and his wife's direction. I think she gave him like a it's all good, it's just a fan kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then it was like you could see that he just relaxed a little bit.
yeah,
And then we got to talking.
yeah. My dad met Dusty back in the early '80s in Florida when Dusty was wrestling, being the booker at Championship Wrestling for Florida.
Yes. And I think he remembered him.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, Dad remembered
Yeah,
Dusty.
yeah. Well, yeah, you can't.
Can't forget him.
No.
May he rest in peace.
But yeah, so we met DDP beforehand, and Lindsay was interested in doing DDP yoga.
Yes, Natural Mama's yoga.
Yes, and so DDP is one of the nicest guys. He'll take his time and talk to someone.
Which is
And
a good and a bad thing
no.
when
Hold
you're
on,
at an access.
hold on. The security guy was trying. Security guy was trying to get Lindsay and me off. DDP said, "Hold on, I'm talking to her. They can wait. The people can wait. This is more important."
Yeah, I think the security guard was like told only a certain amount of time. No, like some wrestlers talk a little more, so I think they're supposed to be on that like strict schedule.
Yes. So that was access. We went home. Next day, I went to work. She had off. She took off. Um, got done by noontime. Left at by 3 o'clock. Got settled on Friday. Did a couple of things. That'll be in another video. And then, actually, Saturday, my dad called up me and goes, "Can you go to the superstore and get your Uncle Harold a shirt? He's a big fan of this wrestler. Can you see if there's a shirt?" I was like, "No problem." Called him up, called my dad up and go, "There's no shirt of this guy, but I'll get him
I think a regular
a
one.
mania shirt with the with Cena and Rock on it, then the card on the back."
Mm-hmm.
So I got that for him. Since then, since 29, until before he
Passed away.
passed away,
Anytime we went
until
anywhere.
anytime we went to WrestleMania, we always got
Mm-hmm.
him a shirt.
And I think your aunt buried him in one of them,
Yeah, I think
or buried him
yeah,
with one of
one of
them.
them.
I don't know if
Yes.
he was literally wearing it.
No, I think he.
I
I think
wasn't there.
she. I'm pretty
I
sure
think it went into the
to the
coffin.
coffin. Yes. So, Sunday came around WrestleMania. We get there, get to our seats. She realizes she wants to see somebody in the next row that she knew, that she went to college with.
Who was it?
I don't know. Remember the woman's name?
Was it Lil?
Yes, that's the only one I know.
Okay. I was in a co-ed fraternity, Alpha Phi Omega, and her and her husband were actually in it. So we were all brothers, and I think when we saw each other, that sparked like us getting back together for a little bit before we lost.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, again,
Not
but
again, but it just
time
time.
and where we are in our lives, it happens.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting because I never realized she was a wrestling fan, and I don't think she ever realized that I was even interested in wrestling.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But the seats were nice.
No, the seats
It
were
was
great.
like 45-yard line
45-yard line. We had our own private not
eating area, so it wasn't
rest.
like suites,
Yeah,
but it
it
was
was.
like
If you know MetLife, you got that. There's the restaurant downstairs for
mhm.
uh, for 4 to 6 sections.
Yeah, it was very nice because when
You
it
had,
got cold, it was nice to get warmed up and then come back.
you got your own bathroom down there. You didn't go upstairs to the bathroom.
I felt like it was less crowded.
Yeah. Show was good. They give it big. The beginning of the show, they talked about Sandy, Hurricane,
Yes.
Superstorm Sandy, or Hurricane
It
Sandy,
was
what?
kind of like a montage of
Yeah,
like Red Cross and other people
National Guard.
helping. Yeah. And then just like neighbors helping neighbors. And it was supposed to be more of an inspirational thing, but it was for even though we weren't hit really that hard by Sandy, like the areas around
Yeah.
us were.
No,
We physically weren't impacted as bad as other people.
we lost power. That was
Yeah, like
everybody in Jersey lost power.
that was it. It wasn't nearly
It
as
wasn't.
bad as
It's
what
the
it could
day
have
was.
been.
It wasn't bad. Like it was bad at the shore.
Yeah, like our house wasn't leveled or
Yeah.
anything. Like, um, it was a tearjerker.
Yeah, it was. But the show was good. The best match was Punk against Taker. My thought.
I just always love watching Taker
Um,
and Punk.
but it was really like. Then we went back to the hotel. Then we went to Raw the next night. Saw Dolph Ziggler cash in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that was kind of exciting. That was my first
Yeah,
cash
I
in.
think that was one of my best Raws after Mania I've been to.
Hmm.
It was
I'd
so
agree with that one.
electrifying. Use the Rock's terms.
Word stealer.
Yes, I know.
Um, where did we stay?
Stayed at the Hampton Inn.
Is that the same place we stayed at in for 25?
35?
35?
No, that was the Marriott. Marriott, we had two rooms.
Okay.
A 2 room suite.
I'm all confused. If it wasn't yesterday, it's
So we went back to 35. It was at MetLife Stadium again,
Mhm.
or MetLife Center.
Thank you. So yeah, we went to 35, which it was kind of the same. Everything was the same. Like I don't think was there an access?
No, we didn't go to Access because the Access was in Brooklyn.
Yes.
At right at the
Yeah, they start. So I think it was more New Jersey based for
29,
29, and then it was more New York based for
30,
35
35, but there's no big stadium
in New York,
in New
unless it's
York.
MSG.
No,
But
no, or as if it's Citi Field or Yankee Stadium, but
right,
both the Mets and the Yankees were starting the season.
right. So that's why they wound up doing it at
MetLife Stadium.
MetLife.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too eventful on that aspect because all the stuff was really in New York
Yeah.
or in the city, and
Yeah.
like that time it was. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to pay to hit the sub. Keep taking the train
No,
back and
no.
forth either.
NXT was in Brooklyn. The Hall of Fame was in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
Raw was in Brooklyn.
It was just WrestleMania. It was in Jersey.
So we just did WrestleMania, and we did like we'll do it on another video. We did
We did other
the
independent
agenda
stuff,
shows.
but we'll
Yes,
talk about that another time.
yes.
So it wasn't super. It wasn't as good. Like to me, in general, the experience wasn't as good as it was in 29 for 29 because that was like everything was in the area.
35 was a good show. I mean, we got there Saturday instead of getting there Thursday. We went to the superstore,
Right.
did our shopping,
Always got to do that first.
came back, did something else Saturday, watched the
Hmm.
Met game first. At wow,
Were we at
B Dub
Buffalo Wild
at
Wings?
yeah B Dubs.
Did we do sushi that night?
No,
That weekend?
That was 25.
Oh, the 25.
29, 29.
29.
I'm sorry,
See, now I got him confused.
29. We'll talk about that in a different video too.
Okay.
Um, 35. Then Sunday came around. We went to Red Robin for lunch.
Yum.
Um, did tailgating. Walked around. Saw a bunch of wrestlers. Old time. A
Hmm.
lot of the agents.
Oh, yeah.
Um, walked around the Show was good. I'm gonna be honest. After the Batista Triple H show, I did an Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. I didn't have a concussion, but I can't remember anything after that. Except for Becky Lynch winning and telling my Lindsay, I said, when you hear the 3 count, get up and
We're
go. We're
going.
going.
So
It
we heard Becky 2 belts and then we left.
Yeah, we heard, and your winner is, and we're leaving when he was announcing Becky won.
If we hadn't left at that time, we would still be there.
I mean, we got there at 11 o'clock. We didn't leave till 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was starting to be cold.
Or we also ran into we met up with some of your friends
Yeah,
on 35, right?
Yeah, we saw a couple of my friends
With their kids.
Well, one of my friends with their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet someone else, but he flaked out.
I don't know if it was a flake out or if it. Okay. Could have been that he was just on the other side.
No, he flaked out.
All right. I was trying to be nice.
Don't be nice. Don't be nice about that one.
Okay.
But like I said, after the Batista Triple H, I do not remember anything until I heard the 3 count.
Why'd Becky you black out like that? Were you just tired?
I was tired and I was freezing.
Oh yeah. The only thing about it being at MetLife is that there's no dome and it's freaking cold.
I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to go to 40 at Philadelphia.
Oh, it's going to be worse.
It's going to, don't like cold weather, honestly.
No cold, no sit out in cold, please.
No. I'm one of those guys that I'm a huge Jet fan. If it's not,
it has to be like the beginning of the season for him to go.
Yeah. I'd rather watch it at home.
It has to be like the first couple of games. Yeah. He went, well, we'll get into that another time when we do sports or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so the next morning we get up to go back home and somebody dropped their wallet. I don't know who that was.
Well, considering I put mine in my purse, I'm going to go with this guy.
Yeah. So,
but didn't they find it?
They found
and mailed it back to you?
They mailed it back to me, but the only problem is I had to cancel all my credit cards. That was in the wallet.
You just don't know.
And I also had to get a new license that day.
And it wasn't like he dropped it anywhere crazy. Like they went, the people were nice. I think they went and checked in the room too, just in case.
Yeah.
But I think he missed his pocket when he was getting into the car.
No,
wasn't it in the parking lot?
It was on the stairs when I was getting all the luggage, putting it in the car. I had a hoodie on. Instead of putting it in my pocket, I put it in the hoodie, and I guess it fell out. Doesn't matter. It was
lesson learned.
4 years ago. Never do that again.
It was only 4 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Because me and my dad were thinking of going the following year, and I was like, before COVID hit. Yeah. This was in February. We were trying to find tickets because it was in Tampa, and I was like, I told you we're at a restaurant. I was like, I have a bad feeling.
You did. And it didn't even happen.
I was like, my dad goes, well, you want to get tickets? You want to try to get tickets? Like, yeah, I'll try it. And I got off the phone. I was like, I have a bad feeling about this WrestleMania. And she goes, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know.
He had a gut feeling, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it all got shut down anyway.
Yeah, so.
Or, sorry, it wasn't viewable to anyone that wasn't on the roster.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. So that's our experience for New York and New Jersey. I know it's not exciting experience. I
feel like depending on the state, depends on how exciting it is. Like, to me, New Orleans was more exciting than New York and New Jersey, but we also live here.
Yeah, honestly, the Orlando, my dad said anytime it's Orlando, he's going. So that
yeah, I get kicked out for that one.
No, you were supposed to come, but something happened.
Oh, you mean getting pregnant?
No, Orlando.
When was Orlando?
33.
Oh. Anyway, that was 29 and 35.
Yeah. So.
All right, stay tuned for more of our fun rants.
Yeah.
Bye.